Now then, campers, I hope you had yourself a terrific Tuesday. I think my hair is starting to get a little bit beyond control. That is proper Johnny Bravo style, I reckon. Wowee. It's getting a bit much. Now, I shouldn't complain though, right? You know, I'd rather be like this than the opposite, shall we say. Anyway, gang, I hope you're going well. It's Andy here for another Ask Andy Anything. And I was going to go along this whole power of collaboration topic. And then it took a bit of a turn just before I came on the show when I just quickly checked my LinkedIn for questions just before I popped on. And I saw a post that I really want to sort of dig into a little bit. But anyway, before we crack on with that, my friends, as always, I want to know how terrific your Tuesday has been out of 10 if you're down in the land down under. If you're around the world, I'm really looking forward to hearing about how you're going to rock your Tuesday if you're in the UK or abroad in the US of A. I hope you're going well, though, wherever you are in the world. Post your scores on the doors in the comment section below for me, please, gang. Let me know how you're getting on so that we can address any concerns and celebrate any successes. My day, pretty hectic, I have to say. Starting at 6:45 a.m. With networking meetings and presentations and so on and so forth, and then 9 o'clock jumped onto the Rise X conference. Had to do a bit of a tandem ride with another session that was being broadcast from overseas that I'd pre-booked ages ago, and I was a little bit of a part of, a very small part of. So I had to do a little bit of multitasking. I tell you what, though, that Rise X conference was absolutely brilliant. It was so good. Jen, welcome to the show. 10 out of 10 for Jen. A solid Lisa, 8.5. Had this top bloke send me to the Rise conference and then introduce me to a recruiter. Right, okay. I wonder who that guy is. Look, gang, keep posting your scores for me. Jen, tell me what successes you've had today. I'm sure you've had a few, which has brought you into that 10 out of 10. Jen, though, Trevorrow, she is becoming a big girl about town, I have to say. Had a number of people after our show last week tell me that they've reached out and connected and looked to gain some inspiration from someone who is absolutely a dominant force in her craft, which is video, video presence and representation of yourself, of your ideas, of your confidence, all of those sorts of things. And she's been getting a hell of a rap from around the traps. So if you don't know this young lady, make sure you get to know her because she's worth having a yarn to, especially when you consider Steve Carroll hit me up, XREA, Digital Live, Hands Across the Water, generally just an awesome bloke. He and I were sort of having a very quick yarn over SMSs about the fact that we reckon there's probably perhaps 10% of real estate professionals max are using social media right now. It seems like there's loads going on, but it's always the same players. We need to see more from more of you, gang. So if you're really struggling on the confidence side of things, or you're really struggling to sort of work out what the hell it is that you do in front of a camera, get in touch with Jen. She's a top chick, worth having a yarn to, 100%. And she's got a course starting tomorrow. She's got a course starting tomorrow, so jump on the bandwagon very, very quickly. Who else has had some decent scores on the doors, please? Please post your comments in the scores in the comment section. So Rise X. Rise X. It was a tremendous gathering of almost 2,000 people, culminating in this wonderful app that I've had a chance to have a bit of a play with. Was launched today, called RealCare. I know we've spoken about it on a couple of occasions on the show, but it's out now. It's a free app. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone, providing my phone doesn't die, which I think it might. The RealCare app, guys, if you're in the real estate space, make damn sure that you get it downloaded. It's on Apple and Android. It's free. It's got no bloody advertising and stuff like that. It's totally non-for-profit. And when I spoke to Chris Hanley about it, I was really impressed. I knew it was going to be a good, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. Like, honestly, gang, it's just such a good bit of kit. I mean, I've got battle scars from mental health and so on and so forth, right? And I'm telling you now, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not blowing smoke up the trumpet. I'm not getting paid for this in any way, shape, or form. I'm telling you now, if I'd have had this app when I was in the midst of my the beginning of my real mental health dramas, I reckon that probably would have gone a long way to sorting me out and helping me out in a big way. In terms of self-care, in terms of self-preservation, what I potentially can do quickly, there's lots of 5 to 10 minute fixes on this thing, which are really cool, really effective, and can get you out of a slump really quickly. I would highly encourage you to get it downloaded ASAP. It's free. It's going to stay free. There are phone lines on there that you can hit at the tap of a button. One of the biggest issues that people have is there's all that like Lifeline and all those sorts of things that are out there for people, but no one, you kind of know that they're there, but when you're in the depths of despair, you really struggle to work out what it is you're supposed to do first. And there's some really cool things on here that you can get in touch with straight away. So it's state relevant. So you plug in what state you're in, you plug in your role, and then you sort of give yourself a bit of a grading as to how you're feeling in the various aspects of your life and whatnot. There's even a budgeting app here. Money is one of the biggest concerns for so many people, and you've got yourself a little real budget app, which is tremendous. Gang, it is just the best. So, gang, please get it downloaded ASAP. Your life will be better for it. And as a result, I want to just shout out in a massive way, not that he will care, because he's just doing it because he thinks it's doing the right thing. But Chris Hanley and the team at Rise are just a set of individuals that the world is a better place as a result of them being around. I'm telling you that now, free and for nothing. They are just an incredible bunch. And then today there was some great speakers, some real inspirational stories, some real openness. Sorry, bad English. Some real home truths getting hit into the stratosphere, which was outstanding. There's so much good stuff going on, gang. So much good stuff. And on that, by the way, so thank you so much to the Rise people. You've just done such a great job of supporting the industry. Now, while we're talking about that side of things, Edward Smythe, I think it's Smythe, little Irish guy up in Queensland, he's just come off really opening himself up on 100words.org.au with Craig Turton, and the interview that he's just done. I've only caught a little bit of it, but what I caught was fairly significant. Ed is he's a big character and has been in the real estate space. If you're interactive on Facebook in particular, he is a big character in a great way, in a very Kia positive way, right? But he disappeared for a little while, and I noticed it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was, and he just said to me he just had a bit of a break and whatnot. But what he's opened up with tonight will blow a lot of your minds out the water, and I would highly encourage, if you or someone you know is going through some mental health dramas, watch that video. That is a guy who presents ultimate confidence in everything that he does, and everything that he presents online and in person on social media. His business has made 12 months. It's 12-month anniversary just week gone, I think, and that it looks like it's done well, and it's going to kick on and continue to do well. At the coalface, everything's rosy for that guy. You dig a little bit deeper, not so much, okay? So please, I would highly encourage that you go and watch that episode of 100words.org.au. It's worth it. It's just worth it to see it from someone who, at face value, looks like everything is ship-shape and rosy. Yeah, a bit of a shock to the system if you have a watch of it. All right, so I just want to say, great effort, well done to Ed. I mean, mate, you know, it just takes some serious minerals, man. It really, really does, to put yourself out there and expose yourself, shall we say, from a mental point of view and an emotional point of view. And hats off to you, man. It takes so much guts. Took me, 5 years to start plucking up the courage. I'd said it privately to a few people, started saying it openly only a year and a bit ago. So, gang, it's a bloody hard thing to do, because you fear, right? And I'm digressing, right? But you fear what the reprisal is going to be, how it's going to affect your home life, how it's going to affect how people look at you when you go to a barbecue or a party or something, right? How it's going to affect your business. Is your business going to be negatively impacted as a result of opening up on mental health challenges, particularly in the real estate space, where we're supposed to be like Teflon, right? Nothing sticks. It's really significant. And I held mine in for so long because I shit myself, not thinking that it was just going to cost me way too much for it to be worth doing, compounding my issues and therefore sending me further down the track. And I'll tell you what, man, the relief that you do get. I mean, I've got I'll be completely honest. One of the first people that I sort of in the industry that I openly admitted this sort of stuff to, and it was in a pretty cool sort of, could potentially have been an important meeting, and he backed off and he went quiet on me. I'm not going to name names, but it's a significant individual in the profession, and I thought I was safe, sort of being open, and I was saying it really in a really good way. I said, look, it's a badge of honor, not something to be ashamed about, and I'm an evolved human being off the back of it. I'm such a better operator, such a better auctioneer, such a better guy that to be around generally. And he backed off. So the fear is real. But I'm telling you now, the more and more that we talk about it, the more that we take action on it, more to the point, and then the more that we'll actually help people to evolve as human beings, come out of their shell, and then it's one of those things that you just wonder why you even held on to it for as long as you did, because the people that mean nothing just drift away, and that's fine, and the ones that hang around are the ones that you wanted to be around in the first place. So, Ed, man, massive tip of the cap to you, my man. Massive tip of the cap to you for opening yourself up tonight. Ridiculous, incredible effort, if you ask me. So back to the topic at hand, which is the power of collaboration. And it's I'm going to quickly go through the budget in RBA reviews and all that sort of stuff. But just before I came on the show, I had a look at my LinkedIn to see if I had any questions, and there was a post that someone made that look, I'm not going to get political about this, whether you like him or not. It had a picture of Donald Trump, and it was, and the whole point of this person's post, I think, was to demonstrate the fact that, relentless hard work, or hustle, as is the overword used nowadays. And honestly, this is the question that I want to ask, because it's a question that is so prevalent in sales teams in particular. Basically in any team, right? Sales teams, in the PM side of things, is if my portfolio is all right, does that mean I'm cool? Does that mean I don't have to worry about it? That's your fault, not mine. All those sorts of things, yeah. And the picture of Trump really sort of got under my skin, because this person sort of lauded his relentless hustle to, have all these riches, be the president, and blah, blah, blah. But it has blatantly come at tremendous cost to a lot of people. And in sales teams, right, in particular, I'll just stick around sales teams because it's an easier example. yes, we need to be competitive as a team because that's part of the game, right? The competitive thing in sales, it's got to be there because it is what drives you to want to do better, right? That will to win, it's got to be there. It's not look, as much as we want it to be all about helping individuals, there are monotonous tasks. There are lots of things like some of the monotonous prospecting tasks that we have to get done, where it's a discipline that is driven by a commitment to want to win, right? There has to be some other sort of level of motivation beyond helping people when it comes to especially that cold prospecting, right? Because otherwise you just feel like an arsehole. So I wanted to pose the question to you lot tonight and ask you, do others need to necessarily suffer in order to succeed? I've heard countless stories of so many individuals that have come from real estate businesses where they got shafted or had a listing stolen from them or had their nose put out of joint because something was claimed, a commission was claimed, and it wasn't, and then nothing to do with that with the person. You know what I mean? All those sorts of nitpicky, pain in the arse stories that you always hear out of sales teams. And it's an interesting one because there are still a lot of people that feel that sales is cutthroat, it's cut and thrust, hyper competitive, win at all costs type sort of mentality. Which I think is a little bit Wolf of Wall Street, and I think he's a knob. So, it really does beg the question, do you need to have other people suffer in order for you to succeed, especially in a sales role? And honestly speaking, I really don't think that you do. I'm a massive no, mate. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm a massive Gary Vee fan, and the biggest thing that that resonates with me for him is the fact that he said that doing the right thing is always the right thing to do, and that for me is massive. And I watched a little bit of a clip of it, and it's all serendipity. I just happened to see like a 20-second clip on Instagram as I was scrolling through earlier today. And he sort of said that it baffles him how that whole nice guys finish last stuff. And it's something that's crossed my mind over the journey, right? At various points. But then he said, look, good people, nice guys might be losing at half time, but they'll always win the game. And it's so true. Dickheads generally tend to have short-term success. They generally can be the flash in the pan people that have come out of nowhere, and just built this ridiculous sort of following for whatever reason in such a short space of time. And you've got to question how authentic it is, because the people that do end up doing really, really well on a consistent and long-term basis always say things like, it only took me 15 years to be an overnight success, or it only took me 20 years to be an overnight success, right? And all those sorts of things. I just feel that, and I've got to put this out there, doing the right thing is always going to be the right thing. And when we talk about, so I was on a roundtable with the education commissioner, for the state education commissioner, with a few other people from the real estate space. I felt very privileged to be a part of it, actually. It was really cool. And one of the main things that came out of that was the greater need from a demonstration of ethics and so on and so forth. I sort of wanted to strip it back a little bit and say, look, we need to think about the consequences of not doing the right thing, as opposed to trying to teach people to do the right thing. A lot of people will either do the right thing or they won't. They will say that they will, and they can be trained in how to do the right thing, absolutely. But ultimately, their DNA, their human nature will take over when it comes down to things like a paycheck that they know that they can bank, or things like that, right? Where it's someone that they've met for a couple of months, be it a vendor or a buyer or whatever, and it's that comparison of that short-term relationship versus a paycheck that's going to satisfy me personally. It's a trap that so many fall into, and you can't. I suppose you can knock them for it because money isn't everything, but money does drive a lot of people, right? And money does It doesn't buy you success, but it gives you the opportunity to do more of what you want to do that can make more people happy potentially, right? They say that money makes you more of what you are, whether you're an arsehole or a great person. It does kind of like exacerbate whatever it is that you are. So I want to retort on this whole notion that Donald Trump's relentless hustle and that's why he's got to be respected and blah, 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 blah. You've got, look, you can understand that respect to a point, but whether you would laud him, when you think about the volume of people that have suffered as a consequence of his success, I don't know if that's going to tip, if that scale is going to tip, you know, favorably, to be perfectly honest. In fact, I know it won't. I know it doesn't. The guy went bankrupt God knows how many times, saved his own skin at the cost of how many people's livelihoods, right? I don't know the guy's history that well, but I know enough to know that. So I personally would like to put it out there that others don't need to suffer in order for you to be successful. If someone gets a listing in your area, for example, the amount of sales guys that I've seen and gals that I've seen, they get shitty when someone gets a listing in their farm, their patch, their farming area, right? I always looked at it the opposite way. I was so happy when someone did that, even if, look, it might have been helped by some of my prospecting, right? But ultimately, the deal, the board got put up in our colours. The deal got done in our office, and it allowed me to leverage off the team's success. I've always drilled this into all of the salespeople that I've worked with and whatnot, is that if you win as a team, you will all benefit as individuals. The greater the team wins, the greater the benefits are to each individual. It's not rocket science, gang. And the notion that salespeople need to be competitive and whatnot is legit, but it doesn't need to be to the detriment of others. It really does not. You know, like it's the same in sports. You know, it's not the arseholes that kick people half, like, you know, up a height and got a million red cards or whatnot in soccer that end up doing well, because then ultimately they're going to lose. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out there. And the reason why I was going to talk about the power of collaboration is because of this RealCare app that's come out today. It's been put together by through a collaboration between a number of competitors that have gone, we've got a greater goal, which is the mental health and well-being of our profession. What can we do together? And we as a profession have got so many skills and so much drive and so much energy and so much communication capability and whatnot. And this just innate ability, and this is something else I mentioned in the roundtable yesterday. We as profession, we're so resourceful as a profession. We can make something out of nothing more often than not. That is a skill hardly any industry has. Imagine if we came together just a little bit more, even if it was internally, that we came together a little bit more, just a little bit more, right? My brother-in-law, he owns a sales business over in the UK. Not my brother-in-law, sorry, my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law's over here, and he's also in real estate sales, by the way. But my brother over in the UK runs a sales business. And he runs it on the premise of, if we win as a team, we will all benefit as individuals. I.e., if the team reaches a certain financial goal in terms of commissions and whatnot, then and only then will people be paid dividends. People will be paid, bonuses on top. Only once the team has made their quota, right? There is a much greater team accountability with everything that they do on that forecourt. Now, my nephew is one of the sales guys, right? So it's not like it's a family business where, you know, the top get fed and the family gets fed and everybody else sort of fighting over the scraps. He is a part of that agreement, right? My nephew is absolutely a part of that agreement. So, gang, I think we need to think even more about how we can collaborate with the people across the office, the people across town, the people in different, you might want, look, the competitive nature between offices in a specific suburb, for example, like brands within a specific suburb, I can understand why that would perhaps be a greater challenge. But, the greater boundaries, the greater, as proven by RealCare, man, we've got so much power within our space. So much power within our space. All right? Let's flex. Let's flex and use it for the betterment of our communities, for the betterment of our profession, right? We can do really cool stuff together and the community will benefit from it. We've got that level of power and that level of skill and that level of drive and that level of energy. We do. All right? 6:45 start right here. We have all got the energy to get it done. Okay? Just have a think about it, right? Even if it's just within your team, how can you collaborate a little bit more within your team? If it's sales and PMs working a bit more together, if it's salespeople working a little bit more closely on making sure that a listing gets across the line. Like I was like every time I felt that something wasn't potentially going to go right, if I felt it in my waters that I was perhaps not going to pick up that piece of business, I brought on someone with me and gave away half it because I'd rather have 50% of something than a whole load of nothing, right? My ego might feel a little bit better, but my pocket ain't going to be feeling any better or any more full. Makes sense? Removing of ego actually leads to greater opportunities. End of. Okay? So I just wanted to get that out there. It was really prompted by that post, actually. Really, really was. Anyway, so gang, I want to quickly run through the outcomes from the announcements. Huge announcements today. Josh Frydenberg put his budget out, the delayed budget, obviously, which we're not going to knock him for because there's obviously a bit going on, right? And also the cash rate announcement from the RBA. So it's pretty much as predicted. Social housing is being put back on the states to try and fix, which is, I don't know about that. But this budget was never going to be able to appease everyone. It just wasn't. The wins that we thought we were going to get, we have got. So the first home buyers are possibly the biggest winners of this budget from a real estate point of view. The first home buyer grants being extended, and it's also for first home buyers that build. They've actually increased the maximum value of the build in every state. So don't correct me, don't sort of quote me on this, but I think Sydney's gone up to like 850k max spend. Victoria has. I think Sydney's gone up to 950 or something like that. But have a look at it, right? I'll post an article. You can just Google it, man. Winners and losers. Just Google winners and losers of the budget, of the Australian budget 2020, and that will take you to what you need to know. But if you're in the profession of real estate, bloody well do that, all right? Because it is in your interest to know these things, okay? From the horse's mouth, not just from social media feeds of other people. Okay, so get across it all. And the RBA kept their cash rate at the historic low of 0.25%, which I'm pretty grateful for, to be perfectly honest, because we need to see what's going to come out of all of this as we start to, stretch our legs a little bit more and get out of the perils that we are faced with. It'll be interesting to see how that bounces back as a result of some of the tax breaks that have really headlined the budget announcement that came out today. For medium, small, like for anybody who's earning an income, there is an increase in tax breaks and what have you, which is good. So get across that as well. So I think they've done a lot of stuff. They've brought forward a hell of a lot of the tax cuts they were trying to reserve for 2022. So fingers crossed that we don't need to bring it down any further from 0.25% because, yeah, we haven't got much further to go after that, have we? So yeah, and I think come March and this is just my opinion, gang. Come March, I think when the JobKeeper payments all wind up and all that sort of jazz, I think that's when we're going to perhaps need a bit of stimulus in terms of spending. But hopefully, and I'll keep saying this at various points, hopefully the public, we will not just become so heavily reliant on it like a drug addict or something, okay? So we will get our own asses in gear as well. My friends, I'm going to leave it there, all right? So what else, what comments have we got? We need to know who gets what because we hope to be selling to all of them, absolutely. And sharing that with another agent will come back in spades. Wonderful. Winning team is better than an individual winning on their own. No worries, Bin. Lovely to see you. Great to meet you the other week, by the way. Cameron, great to see you again, my man. Pendulum swings both ways. You will benefit from its momentum 100%. Jen, what you put out there comes back at you 100%. It does. What else? Cameron, hey mate, had a session with Jen T today. Wow, it was great. She's amazing on the subject. This COVID lockdown is bringing in rampant mental health issues, so I reckon it will make it way more acceptable, and they say normal to talk about. It's like any muscle, man. We all go through it at various points, right? None of us are infallible. But you know, there is a difference between whinging and actually having an issue, okay? And generally, you can feel it, right? You can feel it when it's in your waters. So, you know, if anybody has any concerns of that sort of nature, let us know. You know, feel free to DM me. More than happy to help. Cynthia, welcome, my dear. Yes, you don't need to judge a book by, don't judge a book by its cover, 100%. Phil Robertson, thanks on a new gig property. Yes, so this is cool. Shameless plug for me. Every Monday night, 7 p.m. I've got my own show now, which is really, really cool. Had a chat to Joel again and Andrew, the COO of Property TV. And it looks like I've got free reign as well. It looks like I've got the keys to the car and everything, which is going to be interesting. So I heads up for all of that. That should be a lot of fun. And I've been given the go ahead to give it the beans. And you guys know when that happens, we're going to have some fun. So that should be tremendous. I'm really looking forward to that, man. Anyway, gang, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you have yourselves a good of what is left of Tuesday. If you are from somewhere else in the world, have yourself an awesome day wherever you are. Make sure you do whatever you can to give yourself as good a score as possible. And gang, I will be here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Ask me any questions that you've got. If you are one of the regulars that does watch this show, either live or afterwards, you don't have to be watching this in order to ask me questions. You can send me questions at any point, and I will bring them up as and when I can in the whole schedule of things, okay? So please feel free to just DM me. You can send me a text message. Phone number down the bottom there, 0451 085 998. If you want to even come on the show and ask me the question in person, more than welcome to come have the spotlight. I'm not that fussed about it anyway. All right, then, my friends, you guys take care. Love you all. Please go and have a look at the RBA announcement. Go have a look at the budget. Just get an overview to see what's what, because you're going to have some clients that are going to want to know what the go is. All right, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy. Most importantly, you guys stay happy. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Take care.